Hi, Pagan Shooter here. I'm back with something I'm kind of excited about. As you guys might see, this is my M&P 40, Smith & Wesson. This is the one I got from as a used police trade-in. Before we go any further, it is completely unloaded. There is no magazines in this. There's no ammo in this. This is completely unloaded. And so back to the subject, I had bought this as a police turn-in. So I had gotten this for pretty inexpensive. I believe it was a special on sale for $349. So that was actually a really good deal. When I got it, it was really dirty. I had to do some serious deep cleaning, but it functions like new. Well, actually, I would say even better than new because it is very smooth operation. It is very clean. I actually enjoy shooting this very much. Came with the night sights, as you can see. They still function 100% and are really good. So that's not the point of this video, though. I have recently made another purchase for this gun. You notice I've left it pretty much stock the way I got it. Let's go ahead and disassemble it. We're going to go ahead and lock this back, drop the slide down, release the slide, pull the trigger, and it'll come off. So you have the slide. We're going to go ahead and put the grip, the bottom away for a minute there, the lower, and we'll go ahead and remove the recoil spring, and we're going to go ahead and remove the barrel. Now the barrel, you can see, actually has a little bit of wear to it. You know, pretty worn, but it's in pretty decent shape inside. There we go. You can get a view inside of it. However, I have made a purchase to replace the barrel. What I have is this barrel. Now you'll see they look pretty similar. They are the same length. There you go, top to bottom. The new one is little less worn, or is not worn at all. It's pretty new. The difference between the two barrels is this one, as you can see, is a 357 SIG. So let's talk about that. 357 SIG and 40 cal. Now we know that 40 cal was developed by, as some people say, neutering a 10 millimeter, basically lowering the capability of the bullet, making the recoil a bit more manageable for some shooters, and lowering the ballistics on it. Now, that was developed in about the mid to late 80s. The 357 SIG was developed sometime later, and some people believe it was developed from the 40 cal. Now, my belief on this is, and it's based off of the idea that the 357 SIG was developed by SIG to mock, or at least try to match the ballistics of the 357 Magnum in a semi-automatic round. Now, the thing is, the recoil is very similar to the 40 cal. The round, at least at the base, now this is a 357 SIG and a 40 cal, you'll see that the base are pretty similar. They're pretty close to the same size. Also, you'll see that they're about the same length. The main difference is the 357 SIG, between the 357 SIG and the 40 cal, is the end there. The bullet width is much narrower for the 357 SIG, and the casing is actually appears to be neck down from a 40. I don't believe that to be the case. I believe the casing was actually designed specifically for the round, but it just happens to be the same width as the 40 all the way until it gets neck down for the bullet. Now, the differences mean that a 357 SIG will fit in the barrel of a 40 cal. The 40 cal will not fit in the barrel of the 357 SIG. You end up with that. So, what happens with the magazines? Well, magazines for the Smith & Wesson M&P 40 are also marked 357 for the 357 SIG. The recoil and the power behind the shot, because of the differential between the bullet weight and the strength of the shot, the recoil spring is the same recoil spring, so you can use the same recoil spring. The stress on the frame of the gun, as well as the slide of the gun, is no different. The width of the back of the injector, or of the back of the bullet, means that the ejector will actually, or extractor, will work with the 357 SIG on the same slide. So effectively, to switch this one pistol out to a 357 SIG, the only change is to switch to the 357 SIG barrel with the different size chamber and the different width barrel. So if you look down there, you'll see the barrel. That is the chamber area. You can see it kind of tapers in for the bullet. So to basically convert your Smith & Wesson M&P 40, you insert your barrel. Now, your new barrel. Now, this barrel is not worn in like the 40 cal, so it is a little bit tighter tolerances to get it in and out. That is the only difference as far as assembling this. So placing the spring in, it fits just like the other barrel did. And then sliding the slide on. Uh-oh. There we go. Just like that. Alright. There we go. And it is now assembled and is a 357 SIG. Now, I have seen marks online about Smith & Wesson M&P 357. I don't know if Smith & Wesson actually sells a M&P 357. If anybody knows if that's a case or not, please comment below, let me know. I plan on taking this to the range sometime soon to go ahead and do some testing between the two rounds to see if there is a difference between the recoil. From what I understand and what I'm being told, the 40 cal is kind of like a difference between the 40 and the 357 SIG. It's a feeling difference like the 45 and the 40 Smith & Wesson, where the 45 gives you more of a push, and the 40 cal gives you more of a snap. Whereas these will be similar in difference. However, the 357 SIG will give you more of a snap than a push feeling than the 40 cal will. I don't know for fact. I figure the recoil is going to be pretty similar because the 357 SIG is moving at a much faster rate because it is a much lighter bullet. This is 125 grains. These go to about, this one's 160 grains. I'm going to be testing these two against each other because this is not the largest 357 SIG there is, and this is not the largest 40 cal. They're about mid-range between. So that's my plan. I plan to try to test the mid-range weight against the mid-range weight. These are both just standard velocity 357 SIG and 40 Smith & Wesson. So we'll get a good feeling between the two to see what the differences truly are. Another thing I want to see is, because much like the 10 millimeters that are sold now, the standard 357 SIG that is sold is actually a neutered cartridge from what it was originally designed to be. So if you buy a standard 357 SIG nowadays, it is not going to mock for 125 grain to 125 grain, the 357 Magnum ballistics, like it was designed to do. So the standard velocity, or the standard sold 357 SIG now, is not going to mock it 100%. However, you can still get the proper designed 357 SIGs. I believe Underwood sells them. There's a couple other companies that do. Also, this is still going to outperform ballistically better than the Smith & Wesson 40 cal. So it's slightly better, but it is still better. I'm not saying that this is a better round for everyone. This is something I'm testing. I don't even know if it's a better round for me. I haven't shot these yet. I want to experiment with them and see. I also like the fact that I also like having guns that are capable of changing calibers. I like being able to shoot multiple calibers on the same platform. Anybody that's watched my videos knows that about me. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll see how the ballistics work. We'll also be testing to see if the sights on the M&P 40 are set up for the 40 cal. If the sights are still going to be on for the 357 SIG, theoretically it should be. However, it's possible that it may be off. And I may have to make adjustments. If that's the case, then it's not going to be as significant for me. However, what do you think? Have you guys made any conversions like this? I know that the Glocks are capable of doing it as well. Go ahead and give me any information you have on it, any opinions you have. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. This is Pagan Shooter.